I remember last year in 2014, I was working as an interpreter in a conference about career in sports in Lausanne, Switzerland, and there were just a lot of great guests and a lot of Olympic athletes, so that was very exciting. And one of the guests was Jean-Claude Bivet. Do you know him? Jean-Claude Bivet, if you don't, is the CEO of the Swiss watch brand called Hublot. Hublot is a very famous brand. One of the athletes sponsor is NBA basketball player Dwayne Wade. So that's a big brand. And on stage, Mr. Bivet was there, and the moderator asked him a question. He said, "Mr. Bivet, imagine a young graduate. He's very motivated, energetic, and innovative, and he just wants to work with you. What does he need to do?" And there Mr. Bivet said, crazy answer, I love it. He said, to tell me about his biggest failure. I don't care about his resume, I don't need it, but I want to know about the biggest mistake he made. I want to know about the failure who broke him. Because if he's been through a big mistake, that's probably because, first of all, he took a big risk. And I like brave people, you know. Also, if he did a big mistake, if he's made a big failure, it probably means that afterwards he learned a big lesson. And I like smart people. Hi guys, I'm Gregory Burge. I'm French, and I'll be the one taking you along in this video course to help you become the best athlete you can be. And so right now, to make acquaintances between you and I will tell you about two moments in my life. First of all, I will tell you about the biggest failure of my life. Mr. Bivet will be happy. And then secondly, I will tell you about one of the most beautiful successes in my life. My biggest failure first. It was in 2011. At that time I was working in Tokyo, Japan, and at that time I was working as an osteopath. An osteopath, just in case you don't know what it is, it's a mix between a physiotherapist and a chiropractor. It's something in between, or it's a combination of both, and it's a manual therapist. I was doing that in Japan, and my vision, I wanted to I wanted to open my own osteopathic clinic. So just imagine, the windows exactly where I wanted them, the green plants exactly where I wanted them, the decoration, well, my vision was to build the clinic of my dreams. At that time, I had gone to see the National Register of Osteopath because I wanted to be officially registered, you know. And so I went to see them, and there was an interpreter to translate between my English and their Japanese. Thank God my Japanese improved ever since. And they asked me to write a comparative essay to compare osteopathy in the different countries I've lived in. Then I had to take a practical exam. And at the end they told me, Mr. Burge, congratulations. You are the very first foreigner ever to be officially registered in Japan. That clinic project was just huge. I had asked the bank for $50,000, euros please, 50,000 euros loan. There were also two other osteopaths working with me. They were both French. The receptionist was Japanese. We had organized a photo shoot. The photograph was British, the model Japanese, the website designer was Australian, the treatment table was from California, and then even the business cards, they were coming from the United States. The project was just huge. And at that time, you probably can easily understand that. At that time, I was just so happy and incredibly excited because on top of that, I was going to school every morning to study and learn Japanese. Then I was going for a run because I was registered for the Tokyo Marathon. And then I was going to my clinic to work on that project. And at night, just like a real Japanese businessman, I would go back home and fall asleep in the train. The clinic, if I remember right, the clinic opened in February. And little by little, week after week, we received more and more patients. So things were looking bright. And after 1 month of existence, I remember we received the new flyers, the new brochures. So on that day, I was at the clinic and I had a big stack of envelope with all the flyers and the brochure that I wanted to send to all the embassies in Tokyo and the French schools to tell them about the big event, the official opening of my dream clinic. Unfortunately, this is the very next day that Japan would be hit by a 9.0 magnitude earthquake, a tsunami, and the now infamous nuclear meltdown in Fukushima. You've probably heard about that event, I guess. And what happened is that on top of the emotional aspect of that event, on top of that, this event is the reason why all my clients and potential clients left Japan and went back home to their home country for security measures. And so I had to take a decision. And so I decided to shut down the clinic of my dreams. I decided to leave Japan even though I didn't want to, because I had to find another job somewhere else to start paying back the 50 grand. Then by doing this, I lost a social life, I lost a love life, and probably I lost the most important of all. I lost my position in a country where I was just happy and where I felt like I belonged. Small failure, average failure, big failure, my failure. Now, I'm going to tell you about one of the most beautiful successes of my life. But first of all, man, come on, you gotta give me a bit of time to recharge and to find another energy within me, because I cannot tell you about my biggest success with the same energy as that I just used. So give me a second. All right, I found the energy. One of the most beautiful successes in my life was in January of 2015. And that's when the French Federation of Triathlon contacted me to tell me that I was in the age group French national team. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Being in the French national team, like that's a childhood dream. And just those few words, like be in the French national team, that's enough to just like to just have to change your life, That's just enough. But what happened, I remember, is that I received the news on a Wednesday, and the next day I was going for training, and there I could feel something like some different energy, like burning inside of me, and I started telling myself, okay, Greg, from now on, you are in the French national team. Things are different. You are in the French national team. And from now on, my running was a lot different, was so different. But the reason why this event is one of the most beautiful successes in my life is not just because French national team, French tri-suit, just that. No. The reason why I consider it as one of the most beautiful successes of my life is because 2 months before receiving that beautiful news, I was actually inches away from giving up. I was so close to giving up. At that time, it was just after the Nationals in October. I had injured my leg. My coach fired me. And then in France, we switched to daylight saving time, the winter saving time, you know. So all of that combined together. So that's the trifecta. And so for 2 months, with those three things combined, for 2 months, I was just I was just in the middle of a dark hole, and I couldn't see the end. So I remember every day I was going for training, biking, swimming, and running. My body would do it, but my mind was out of this world. My mind was elsewhere. My mind was doubting so much. My mind was wondering, okay, what are you even doing this? Like, my clarity was gone, and I was doubting so hard, but I just kept. I don't know how, I don't know what kind of special power, what kind of like flame I used, but I just kept on going and going and going. And at one point, I saw a bright light at the end of the tunnel, and then a few weeks later, the French national team gave me a call. And to me, understanding that in life, to succeed in life, never mind the field, whether it is business or your athletic career, persisting and being resilient and not giving up is the most important thing. And for me, understanding this was not a tiny success, was not a top average success, was not a big success. It was an amazing success. It was an amazing success to understand that. I'll leave you with this, and I'll see you soon in this video course to help you become, you know it, the best athlete you can be. Peace.